Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the wonderful world, or maybe not so wonderful world, of VAT and how it can affect your small business. Now, there's no getting around it. The rules of VAT can be really, really harsh for small businesses, especially if, like in the reselling world, your whole world is about trying to reinvest that money into your business and make it keep growing and growing and soar into the moon. But VAT can be something that can really get in the middle of it. So join us today as we talk about what the impact can be to your business and how we can make sure we can get around it. Stay tuned. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer of Fancy New Logo, that QuickBooks Chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcast who goes live each and every Monday morning with Ask the Accountant. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the wonderful world of VAT, or as I said in the intro, the not so wonderful world. Now, first of all, let's figure out what VAT is. If we haven't already seen, go check this video out here where we talk about what VAT is and we go through every little aspect. But let's have a quick recap. First of all, at the very beginning of your business, VAT is a choice. You can decide to become VAT registered or you can decide not to become VAT registered, but the choice is up to you until your turnover reaches £90,000, at which point that choice of becoming VAT registered gets taken away. Now, listen to what I said there. Turnover. Turnover is that top line. Turnover is how much you sell. In the reselling world, it's how much you've sold your pair of trainers for or sold anything else on eBay, Amazon, or whatever it's going to be. It's the sale, and that sale is on a rolling 365 days. It's not on a particular tax year or anything daft like that. It's rolling 365 days. If you go over £90,000 of sales, that choice gets taken away. But what impact does that have into your business? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to be using one of our favorite pieces of software to go and illustrate it all. And that software is going to be QuickBooks Online. So let's set the scene. Let's talk about a business doing £60,000 at this point in time. And how's that going to look to them? Let's have a look. So welcome to my new reselling business. Now, I'm just going to go through and put what we call journal entries in here, and we'll see what that impact has. Let's say this was the end of the 31st for 2023 year. So let's say this was last year, and let's say we had some sales coming in of £60,000. Oh, let's say we have some eBay fees, roughly 15%, let's say. And then let's say that there are some purchases, 20,000, and we're just going to call the rest of it admin costs. It's going to be like telephone costs, things like that. And finally, we're just going to put some postage fees in there as it is. All right, so let's say then everything else is just taken as drawings. So with £60,000, I know I've made up some of the expenses here, but you know, they're pretty much accurate. But if I was to look at my reports and look at what we call profit and loss, which is going to tell me exactly how much money I've made, and I look at last year, you'll see my profit and loss will look a little bit like this. I had my £60,000 of sales coming in, but all my gross profit takes me to 27,000, had 5,000 of admin costs, leaving me with £22,000 of profits. Now this is, remember, completely without VAT. If I was to look at my income tax estimate based on that one, then roughly my income tax is going to be £1,886 from there. So, okay, that kind of sets the scene, right? That's if I'm at £60,000, nowhere near that VAT threshold. Let's push myself up though. Let's say that the next year is when we start figuring out, do I go VAT registered or not, and how's that going to work? Well, let's do some estimates of to what's happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to copy this one and bring this down to 2024. And I'm going to get to £85,000, so as far close to that VAT threshold as I possibly can. You know, with that then I would expect my eBay fees to go up a little bit more. My postage probably go up a little bit more, and the purchases I make go there. Admin costs, I'd imagine, possibly going to stay the same. That's how kind of admin costs work. And using this report here, I can see that now I have my 85,000 compared to 60 last year. And I've got cost of sales here, 47,000, bringing me down to 37.27. Basically, me jumping up by another 25,000 has given me an extra nice little £10,000 of net income. Sounds good, right? And then with a tax point of view, that takes into consideration, you know, I'll be paying a bit more tax, but I've sold more, therefore I should be rewarded for that. So everything's starting to make sense. But now let's start to think about if VAT gets in the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to say that, let's say that 2025 is the year that I hit over that VAT threshold. So I've reached that magical £90,000. Now that's great, but what does that mean? That means I've now got to turn VAT on, and how's that going to affect me? Well, let's go through, set up my VAT and go through this one. Now we turn VAT on, we're going to see what the impact of VAT has been. Straightforward enough. I'm going to go bring up my last journal entry. So this is all the way up to 2025 now. This time round, I'm going to say, well, there was VAT on this. It was 20% VAT on my sales. Technically means I need to bring this down. And technically, there would be a little bit of VAT on this one. So we're not going to, it's not going to be all negative. There is going to be some of it that we can put in. So let's do, and same with the purchase as well. Although most of the purchases won't have any VAT on, but there's probably a good chance that I could get that off this one. And let's just say this VAT on this one as well, just so we've seen the impact. So effectively what's happened is, well, we've now got a VAT return to worry about, and that VAT return should start coming in here. Yeah. With a VAT basically to pay 11,500 in this current state. What's that done to my profit and loss? Now remember, I've sold £90,000 of VAT. Unfortunately though, if I do all dates, run reports, this time around though, I'm going to do display columns by fiscal years, press run. We can see what the impact of that's done. So the very far one here, this is where we sold £60,000. Well, that gave us £22,000 of net income. Then the year after, we jumped up to £85,000, still technically below the VAT threshold, and we had £32,000 rewarded for selling more at that point, right? Our profit has gone up accordingly. And then unfortunately, because we went to £90,000, hit that VAT threshold, well, that's when it starts to hurt. It's £75,000 is my net sales now, because technically out of that 90,000 that we had, there's going to be an element of that that's VAT that we need to pay over. What that does mean is that technically our £90,000 worth of sales, which is significantly more than the 60,000, if you think about it, that's over half of it again. Yeah, that's us taking half of what we've already sold and putting all of that effort in to put it in again. Well, that's left us with less money to take home than the 22,000 left here. And this is the biggest issue when it comes to VAT. This is where the VAT side of things, we need to be really, really careful of it. Now, if we look to 2026 though, can we make this more palatable? Well, we can, but there's certain things we need to take into account. So 2026, how's that going to look? Well, let's say we absolutely smashed it this year, and basically we did 120k worth of sales. That leaves us with £15,000 of eBay fees. Let's say that there's £8,000 of postage now. and we're up to £40,000 of purchases. Admin costs, let's say, well, because we really had to smash it forward, let's say that's now gone up a tiny bit as well. How does that leave us then? So now then, in this 2026 year, we've hit the sweet spot, right? In our world, we've been able to go from 2025 to 2026, and we've gone up to 100k. Now 100k, well, 120k in sales means that yes, it's significantly more. It's doubled what we had in the 31st of March 2023. But as you can see, we're back to those profit levels that we were used to before going VAT registered. So the key here is not just to get up to the VAT threshold figure of £90,000, but to try and smash past that VAT threshold. If we can smash past it, then that's when it's going to get better for us. Now, those ones we've got there, keep remembering these ones, keep remembering what the impact of this was. In fact, for me, I'm going to go and I'm going to go export it to PDF, save it as PDF so we can come back to it. Because that's what happens if we go on the standard VAT. Now, a little tip on how we can get around this a little bit more is by using what's called flat rate scheme. Let's see what the effect of that is. So I'm going to go to my taxes, go to my VAT side of things, and I'm going to go edit VAT, edit settings. Now you have to apply for the flat rate scheme and you have to be given it. But effectively the idea of the flat rate scheme is it's supposed to be an opportunity for you to level the playing field in terms of when that comes into play. So let's say that was the 1st of April 2024, and let's press save. Now, what's going to happen here is if I go and I actually prepare the return, put this VAT return into place, you'll notice that actually I've got a gain here of £5,650, which is going to have a nice effect, right? So let's get this first one done then. Let's mark that one as filed. Okay, so now I've moved over to the flat rate scheme. How has that affected my results? Well, let's go back and do that profit and loss report, do all dates. And this time round, I'm going to do a look at what's happened. So, first year, exactly the same. We weren't VAT registered at that point, so we don't expect anything to change. 22,000. Second year, again, not VAT registered, nothing's changed. But look at the positivity that's happened on that first year. My savings by flat rate scheme has basically pushed me back, way back closer to what it was before. So at least now we're not as much of a hindrance as we were. But again, the rules really do stay the same. I need to get past that 100k mark really to be able to make this worthwhile. Now that I'm past my 100k mark and I'm on the flat rate scheme, and the flat rate scheme's helping me, means actually now I'm on 39 as opposed to 32, which has given me a much better look and a much better feel for what's going on and given me an opportunity to actually make the most out of this business. 32,000 versus 39, I'm happy with that one. That's much better for me thanks to that flat rate scheme and the impact that that's made. And that's where this becomes key, right? This is where this becomes really important. As a reseller, most of the time we don't get the opportunity to have these purchases items here and take the VAT off them. Now, if you were more of a retail arbitrage and you were buying from things, that will make a positive difference. And yes, you will see a much better result, but it wouldn't be that much better off. And it will be more in line to what we can see here. Remember, all this flat rate scheme is trying to level the playing field. So if we were buying from a VAT registered supplier or we weren't buying from a VAT registered supplier, it's kind of irregardless when we look at the flat rate scheme. This is realistically the impact that we're looking at. You can see the impact though still maintains the same. Those sales figures, if we just hit that VAT threshold and we stay at the VAT threshold, unfortunately we're going to end up being worse off. Now, there is a lot of people out there who look at it and see an opportunity to just stay under the VAT threshold as much as possible. And yes, I do believe that staying on the VAT threshold can be beneficial for certain types of clients. But when it comes to the reselling world and looking at making sure your algorithm with Amazon and eBay and everything else is always maintained. And the algorithm is so key, right, that you can really hinder your business if you take 3 months off, for example, just to keep under that VAT threshold. Now, one of the tips I always tell people to consider is, this is a sole trader. Well, what about if you move to a limited company? Well, the best thing about moving to a limited company is technically that clock, that running up to £95,000 can reset itself. If you look at these numbers here, if you know that getting to 100k, 120k can actually make it so that it's better off for you, and you're in a much better position than if you just stayed at the VAT threshold figure, then actually you'll probably find that if you were given an opportunity to ramp up quicker, then it's going to help you. And that's where a lot of the time the limited company move can be really, really beneficial, because utilizing the fact that you've got a chance to pretty much start from zero with all the knowledge that you've got, all that information that you now know, giving you the opportunity to go, right, let's restart the clock, let's start from zero, but with all the knowledge and everything else that goes forward, you're in a much better chance to not just get to £90,000 and stay there, but hit that and smash it and go through much, much further. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. How were you surprised about what was going on there? You can see the flat rate scheme is definitely a way of being able to benefit it. There's other ones as well, because the margin scheme that could help you. And we've done loads of videos on all of that as well on this channel. If you want to know more about this though, make sure you head over to Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chap, where we really did look into the margin scheme and other schemes as well. And that YouTube channel has got loads of ways in which you can use QuickBooks for your benefit. What was your thoughts on that one? Let us know in the comments below. And if you'd like another video like this, maybe go into a little bit more detail, anything else, then let us know, and we can definitely look at putting that together. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And if you want more videos like this one that's going to help your small business, then make sure you subscribe. Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and we'll make sure then that we give you the videos you need to make sure that your business doesn't just survive, but thrives. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As I just said, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.